Good morning. My name is Marek Vanus. I am a SVD father. I read an interesting observation about hospitality. Hospitality is a form of dying to self for the sake of serving others. And the author of these words further added, "The people who can teach us how to die to ourselves in order to serve are our friends." Like a certain farmer who was building a fence with a young boy. The farmer suddenly dropped the heavy concrete foot of one of the fence posts straight into the middle of the mud puddle. Both men were hit by a spray of mud and were thoroughly dirty. Later, an eyewitness asked this farmer, "Jim, did you drop that piece of concrete in the puddle on purpose?" The farmer nodded and said, "Of course I did." An astonished observer asked why. The farmer smiled and said, "Because Willie, the boy I was working with, had new overalls on. And until then we did almost nothing, because he was worried about not getting them dirty. Did you notice how skillfully our work went after this baptism in the mud?" Hospitality as a form of accepting another and showing respect usually has certain limits in our life. Few people will welcome a complete stranger. Someone I know nothing about makes me suspicious. It is fear that blocks a person from reaching out to those who perhaps need the help the most. Fear blocks us from real service. As with the young boy in his new overalls, he was afraid to get them dirty, so he didn't really do anything. Fear of the unknown and potentially dangerous, but also fear that my offer of help will not be accepted, fear of being humiliated by another, and so on. Today's gospel offers us impulses to think about how to die to fear and enter into life of service. We hear it directly from the mouth of Jesus. "He who does not take up his cross and follow me is not worthy of me." Well, the cross always causes anxiety and fear. But to remain blocked by fear means, paradoxically, to start losing life. The one who is blocked by fear does not move. He stops living. On the contrary, Jesus shows that it is possible to act despite fear. And we can start with the little things, as handing over a glass of water to someone insignificant, as we heard in the Gospel. Even if it does not seem a great deed, it is a sign of life, the capacity not to think only of oneself, the capacity to die to oneself and serve. Certainly, Jesus does not tell us in the Gospel that it will all be easy. There is a loss, but it will be compensated by profit of life. Participating in the life of Christ is given to the one who is able to stop relying purely on his or her own human resources, who dies to them in a certain way, and places his or her confidence in Christ, expecting life from him. The one who is not afraid to carry the cross because has realized that this is the way to life that Jesus indicated to us. So let's learn to give a glass of water of small gestures, of encouraging words, or of seemingly insignificant deeds, because whoever who finds his life will lose it, and whoever loses his life for my sake, says Jesus, will find it. Let us have the courage to live this paradox of Christ, the paradox of his disciple, the paradox of every Christian. Have a nice week.